How's it going? I'm Drew Redridge from the Downriver Mob.
And I'm Gory Vincent from the Walled Lake Penny Saver.
And we're the Dollar Show critics.
Every week we go to the theaters where Kevin Spacey is still known as the Gimp.
Kaiser Sose.
Find out if the movies playing there are worth your dollar. And you know, fall is upon us, Drew, and that means we're just seeing the comedies of the summer hitting the Dollar Show. So, you know, we're going to take a look at a couple of them today. We had $2 to spend.
Yeah, and with my first dollar, I went to go see Horrible Bosses.
Ah, yeah, that was a hit.
Yeah, starring Justine Bateman, I believe his name is.
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman and Kevin Spacey and Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
And this movie stars Bateman, like I said before. It's with him and his two buddies, and they like to go out drinking every now and then and complain about their bosses. Now, in some ways, they might have a couple points. I mean, you got Bateman here, and his boss is Spacey, and he kind of overlooks him for, what's it called? A promotion, yeah. Kind of like in 9 to 5, which is, this movie kind of reminded me of a little bit.
It does. That's a good point.
Just a little bit. Anyway, I can't say that name. Sudeikis? Jason Sudeikis. He's one of Bateman's friends. They got this other little guy, too, but that dude's ridiculous. I'll get to him later.
Charlie Day.
Yeah, and his boss is Aniston, and since he sexually harasses him, he wants to kill her.
Yeah, it is.
Come on, really?
You're right.
If Jennifer Aniston sexually harasses you, you go with it. Anyway, back to Sudeikis. His boss in this, I mean, his boss doesn't start off bad. Played by Donald Sutherland for like a few minutes.
That's right.
Yeah, until he gets run over by a car, and then his douchebag kid takes over, played by Colin Farrell, which he did a pretty good job, I thought.
He was almost. You couldn't even recognize him, really.
Anyway, after like 20 minutes into this movie, they decide they want all their bosses to die. Sure, whatever. So then they go downtown and try to find some black guy, played by Jamie Foxx.
This movie was kind of racist.
Yeah, it was. This movie just kind of brutally assumes that all black guys know how to do murders. But anyhow, they go to the bar downtown and get Jamie Foxx's services on how to kill their three bosses. And that's when they all try to start killing their bosses, and the comedy's supposed to start. Now, I thought this movie was funny, but just not at a high tier. It had a lot of like one-liners. I mean, I probably laughed like 3 times, but it really wasn't all that hilarious, Corey. What did you think?
Well, I definitely think I laughed more than 3 times at it.
I don't know.
I mean, you're right. This is no classic of the comedy scene.
Very stereotypical.
I'm not sold on Jason Sudeikis.
No.
He's all right. And Charlie Day, he's an acquired taste. He sells all his lines.
No.
Really high-pitched and annoying. I mean, I just want to say, I did think there was a lot of laughs in this movie. I mean, I laughed solid. I laughed a good, half a dozen to a dozen times in this movie.
What are you going to give it?
I would give this movie for $1. Sure, it's worth your $1.
Really?
Yep. Go spend your $1 on Horrible Bosses. I really don't think you'll be disappointed. You're going to get enough laughs and enough good performances to pull you through it.
Yeah, Gloria, sure, huh? I'd have to give this not really. I mean, it's not really up above that tier for spending $1.
All right, so that's 1 sure and 1 not really for Horrible Bosses. Before we get to our next movie, Drew, I want to give a quick DSC shout-out to one of our YouTube users.
Oh, a new segment, huh, Gory?
Yeah, that's right. I thought it'd be good to give something back,
Hey, it's always good to give.
And so we're going with Torn Inside from Iowa. Hopefully not that part where the movie The Crazies took place, because that was pretty messed up.
Or where they had that big canyon in Star Trek.
Yeah, I didn't know there was canyons in Iowa, but maybe you can tell us.
If you're J.J. Abrams, you could do anything.
But anyways, Torn Inside, she subscribes to our channel, shares our videos, just an all-around awesome person, and just want to say... Torn Inside.
DSC shout out right there.
DSC shout out for you. Now, if you'd like a DSC shout out, and who wouldn't, Drew?
I mean, really.
I mean, just, leave us some comments, subscribe to our channel, share our videos somewhere, and you just might get
a DSC shout out.
And for our next $1, Drew, I spent it on what I think was the surprise smash hit comedy of the summer, Bridesmaids, starring Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, and a bunch of other funny ladies.
From Saturday Night Live?
A couple of them, I think.
Yeah, but who watches Saturday Night Live, Corey?
This movie stars Kristen Wiig as, the single gal, who's like in her 30s and hasn't gotten married yet. She hasn't found Mr. Right. In fact, she's kind of like the third-string booty call of like this ladies' man played by John Hamm from Mad Men. Her best friend Maya Rudolph is, she's the girl that she gets together with and tells all her problems to. But one day, she tells her, hey, I'm engaged, I'm getting married. She's getting married to her longtime douchey boyfriend. She asked her to be her maid of honor. So Kristen Wiig is now the maid of honor, and we're introduced basically to a bunch of characters. It really is kind of like the reverse gender Hangover. So even how you have the character of Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover, here you've got Melissa McCarthy as the sister of the groom-to-be.
Oh, she stole that role.
She is. I gotta say, she's been getting a lot of accolades, and I think it's well deserved. Every time she was on screen, I mean, it was funny. You just took notice. She stole it from everybody, and I look forward to seeing her.
Maybe a Best Supporting Oscar?
I think honestly, if she doesn't get a Best Supporting Oscar nomination, then the Oscars are sexist and something else. I don't know what the else is.
Don't say it, Corey.
But no, there's
Don't
something.
say it.
You've got the new best friend of Maya Rudolph, played by Rose Byrne, who's just this gorgeous girl who, you know, tries to upstage Kristen Wiig at every turn. There's also a scene on an airplane in this movie that was definitely pretty funny. You know, Kristen Wiig, she's nervous.
She doesn't fly.
So she takes some pain medication, mixes it with a little bit too much liquor, and next thing you know, she's
having a good time,
cursing out the first class flight attendant guy. And I thought some of that stuff was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, and of course McCarthy in there too.
Melissa McCarthy, by the way, no relation to Andrew McCarthy. At least I don't think so.
I'd hope not.
Oh, she was great.
I can't get enough of her. I really can't.
I know. I want to see.
I want to see a spinoff with her, Bridesmaids 2.
That's a good idea. By the way, studios, if you use that, send a little bit. 10% goes to Drew Edwards over here.
5% to Gory Vincent.
Oh, thanks, Drew. It's big.
I'm looking out for you.
All the performances were good. You had Ellie Kemper from The Office. Lots of good stuff here. Dragged down a little, but no complaints, Drew. What did you think of it?
Yeah, for the most part, Gory, I enjoyed this movie. Like you said, with that Maya Rudolph, she wasn't too bad in this. And Kristen Wiig, she was good in this, too, even though she did get a little whiny in parts.
Yeah, but, you know, she proved to be a good physical comedian, too, I thought. And you know, kind of like the new Carol Burnett, they're saying.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to have the legs that she does. I also enjoyed Melissa McCarthy. I could have gone for some more of her. I mean...
But you know what? I was looking forward to the end credits of this one, Drew, to see some outtakes, but all it was Wilson Phillips singing and stuff at the bridal shower, so I had to
Yeah,
leave.
could have went without that. That's for damn sure. Also, they did that song in Harold and Kumar, Go to White Castle. So, I mean, who's on the Wilson Phillips kick?
Was that the same song?
That was the same song they were driving when they were in the Jeep going to White Castle.
But Drew, really, what do you give this?
I have to say, this is a strong sure for me.
Strong sure?
Very strong sure. I mean, Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, that other McCarthy chick, I mean, you really can't beat it. It's almost a hell yeah.
All right, sure. Well, you know what? I'll just give it a hell yeah, because you know what? For $1, you're going to get plenty of laughs out of this thing.
Plenty, that's true.
It
is a bit long, though.
It is long, but it's kind of a chick flick, but honestly, guys will laugh at this just as much.
So that's one hell yeah and one sure for Bridesmaids.
And we'll be back next week with another couple dollar shows and maybe even some DVD picks. We don't know.
So until then, we're the Dollar Show critics, and we give a buck.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy, I mean, honestly, that's the best performance I've seen in the supporting role.
Just so enjoyable.
I mean,
every time she came on the screen.
You're
not wrong.